Sit down here, yeah. So friends, on behalf of the Chair of the Trustees of St. Patrick's College, Maynooth, Archbishop Eamon Martin, I invite you, Archbishop, maybe you might salute our friends. The members of the faculty of St. Patrick's College, Maynooth, and all the administration, the administrative staff, the students, and I'm delighted also to have been introduced by my predecessor, Monsignor Hugh Connolly, who deserves all the credit for inviting the International Federation of Catholic Universities to hold their 26th General Assembly here in Maynooth. And it is also, having received the baton from him, my own personal delight and honour as President of St. Patrick's College, Maynooth, to extend the same Céad Míle Fáilte, 100,000 welcomes to all of you who have gathered here for the Assembly. So, bienvenue à tous, bienvenido a todos, benvenuti a tutti. It's a great privilege for us that you've elected this college at the last General Assembly in Melbourne to come to Ireland and to grace this college with your presence for the next few days. A very special word of welcome to our distinguished visitors and His Excellency, Cardinal Giuseppe Versaldi, Prefect for the Congregation for Catholic Education. We're delighted you're here with us. And the President of IFCU, over here, Father Dr. Pedro Rubens Ferreira Oliveira. And Dr. Francois Mabou, sorry, I knew I'd get this wrong. Dr. Francois Mabou, the IFCU General Secretary, Francois, pardon. A special word of thanks just from the outset to all those who have made the preparations for the General Assembly, Loic Roche and Nicolas Vergier, and all the IFCU team in Paris, and also in particular Caroline Tennyson over here from my own office. And James Murphy and all the team here at St. Patrick's College, Maynooth, who have worked meticulously to ensure this will be a successful and engaging conference. This is a very historical college and a great location to discuss and debate the theme that you have chosen for the General Assembly: Catholic universities working in solidarity as responsible actors from the local to the global. For this college has had a long tradition of Catholic university education and formation that has shaped not only the local church and society, but also has had a great global outreach. And maybe just before we look at the theme, maybe to give you a little bit of the sense of that local and global outreach of this college. Any of you who came in through the main gate will have noticed on the right, before you come into the gate, the ruins of a fine castle. And that castle in the early 16th century was perhaps the seat of one of the most powerful families in Ireland, the Fitzgerald family, who actually in due course gave the land for this campus. And it was on this site that the 9th Earl of Kildare, a man called Garrett Oge Fitzgerald, Garrett Oge meaning the younger, founded Ireland's first university on this site in 1518. Now, it only lasted about 20 years. It flourished until it was suppressed in 1538 because his son, Silken Thomas, he was known, rebelled against Henry VIII, and that was the end of both the Fitzgeralds and the university. And with the arrival of the Reformation and the penal period, which forbade the education of Catholics and seminaries in Ireland, a great network of Irish colleges sprung up all over Europe, which served Ireland for almost 3 centuries. But in the age of revolutions, and particularly the French Revolution, fearing that priests were bringing back dangerous revolutionary ideas to Ireland, the British government founded this college so that it would be, believing it would be a safer place to educate Irish priests at home. Indeed, King George III is reputed to have said that it pained him more to found a popish college than it did to lose the American colonies. The first professors were mainly French, themselves refugees of the Ancien Regime, and the language in the staff dining room in the first years of this college was French. And so I'm delighted Monsignor Hugh Connolly continue that tradition today. And when you're at the reception this evening in Pugin Hall, when you look at the walls, you will see the portraits of the first professors of the college who came from their Sorbonne in Paris. The college campus, which many of you have admired since you have arrived, was built over a century. It's a mixture of between the 18th and 19th century, a mixture of Georgian and Neo-Gothic design, with the most recognizable building being that which St. Patrick's College, which was designed by the renowned English, you see how ecumenical we are, the English architect Augustus Pugin, who also designed many cathedrals in Ireland and in England during the time of Catholic emancipation in the 1830s and 1840s. Perhaps his most notable building, though, is Big Ben in London, and he was one of the two architects who designed the palaces of Westminster in London. Since the foundation of our college, 12,000 priests have been ordained here and have served the church across not only Ireland, but also the English-speaking world and beyond. Its alumni founded three great missionary orders, one to India in 1838, and the Maynooth mission to China, the Columban Fathers, just over 100 years ago in 1916, and later St. Patrick's African Missionary Society in 1932. Maynooth also produced the first group of Irish Vincentian priests who were to found the world-renowned missionary college in Dublin called All Hallows. And as you walk the cloisters of the college this afternoon or in the next few days, you will see many of the college's alumni and staff who became bishops throughout the world. In India, Patrick Carew, who became the Bishop of West Bengal in 1838, John Fennelly, who became the Bishop of Madras in 1841, and his brother Stephen, who followed in his footsteps to the same place in 1868. And there is also in the United States, Peter Kendrick, who went to St. Louis in 1841, Patrick Feehan, Chicago in 1865, among others. And of course to Australia. We sent Daniel Murphy to Hobartown in 1846, Joseph Higgins to Sydney, and more famously of all, Daniel Mannix to Melbourne. Not to mention also South Africa and to Canada. All highlight the global outreach of this college. And our college campus uniquely hosts three institutions: the National Seminary, which we expect next year to have about 30 seminarians resident and 20 who will commute in each day; the Pontifical University, which was founded here in 1896 and has over 860 students, part-time and full-time; and thirdly, in 1910, this college also became a recognised college of the National University of Ireland, with faculties in arts, philosophy and Celtic studies. And that was to be a part of this institution until 1997, when, due to an Act of Parliament, it became an independent secular college. And today it has over 12,000 students. And in addition to the traditional faculties of arts, philosophy and Celtic studies and science, it includes courses in finance, computer science, software engineering, electronic engineering, and so on. And both institutions, even though they are separate, share this wonderful heritage campus and enjoy a wonderful relationship together. As for that brief historical overview demonstrates why this college, this location, is a fitting place to address the theme of this year's General Assembly: Catholic universities working in solidarity as responsible actors from the local to the global. Ex corde ecclesia lists ethical concern as among the criteria of research for a Catholic university, because knowledge is meant to serve the human person. Research in a Catholic university is always carried out with concern for the ethical and moral implications both of its methods and of its discoveries, especially in the areas of science and technology. For the cause of the human person will only be served if knowledge is joined to conscience. And this unity of knowledge and conscience is what drives Catholic universities to be responsible and ethical agents or actors in addressing the contemporary challenges to human dignity, justice, the environment, climate change, migration, economy, and politics, to create a more humane world and protecting our shared planet. The former Superior General of the Society of Jesus, Father Peter Hans Hollenbach, coined the phrase well-educated solidarity as the standard for Jesuit education in the 21st century. And because of the rapid pace of change, the complexities of globalization, and the global problems of poverty, the ecological crisis, the climate change, which require sophisticated analysis for ethical solutions, Catholic universities must play an increasingly important role in the formation of reflective graduates with a well-educated solidarity in fidelity to its convictions about human dignity of every person and the common good of all. A key element of every Catholic university's pedagogy and programs is to unite knowledge and conscience so as to equip its graduates not only for employment but for life, to equip its graduates to be morally responsible actors who will be leaven and enrich their communities not only with knowledge but also wisdom and virtue that can heal a world wounded by the widespread individualism which divides human beings, setting them against one another as they pursue their own selfish interests. Addressing the complex global issues that touch on so many different dimensions of human life and of society and of the environment also calls for greater cooperation between Catholic and ecclesiastical faculties and universities, as stated by Pope Francis in his address to the members of the Gravissimum Educationis Foundation last June. He said, only by changing education can we change the world. In other words, our Catholic and ecclesiastical universities must cooperate and support each other more than ever before. He underlined the urgent need for networking and alliances, concrete interdisciplinary and cross-disciplinary approaches, which he outlined in his recent constitution, Veritatis Gaudium. Pope Francis called on ecclesiastical faculties, and we can presume he would likewise propose for faculties of Catholic universities to work more together in establishing outstanding interdisciplinary centres, to develop specialised centres capable of deeper dialogue with the different scientific fields that can propose solutions that correspond to a more authentic understanding of human dignity and the common good. Catholic universities working in solidarity is an imperative. It's not an aspiration, requiring a firm commitment and concrete initiatives, not vague or obscure intentions. All of us, especially leaders in universities, have drawerfuls of interinstitutional agreements which look well on paper, but yet have really to be materialized. Internationalization in the third level sector has never been so necessary. Therefore, this solidarity between Catholic and ecclesiastical universities working closer together, and which is the theme of this assembly, is an imperative not only for all our sustainability, but also in the third level sector for all our credibility. An innate tension exists between acting from local to global. As Pope Francis wrote in Evangelii Gaudium, we need to pay attention to the global so as to avoid narrowness and banality, and yet we also need to look to the local, which keeps our feet on the ground. Together, the two prevent us from falling into one of two extremes. In the first, living in the abstract, and in the other extreme, doomed to doing the same things over and over again, and incapable of changing or being challenged by new ideas. Catholic universities working in solidarity as responsible actors from the local to the global can also work on the small scale or stage, but motivated or inspired by a larger perspective. And one example of this need for Catholic and ecclesiastical universities to act in a new and intergenerational solidarity, both locally and globally, or what some have said is glocally, is in responding to the challenge of environmental degradation and climate change, the consequence of unbridled greed, consumerism, and the erosion of the sense of the common good. Indeed, Catholic and ecclesiastical universities should be at the vanguard of environmental education and developing an ethics of ecology, helping people through effective pedagogy to grow in solidarity, responsibility, and compassionate care for the environment, to shape new convictions according to Laudato Si, attitudes and models of living in our homes, workplaces, communities, and above all our universities, inspired by this new global or glocal solidarity to save our common home and pass it on to future generations. During one of the roundtable sessions tomorrow, on Tuesday afternoon, I'll be pleased to share with you how St. Patrick's College, Maynooth, in partnership with Maynooth University and TROCRA, which is the Irish equivalent to Caritas, or the development agency, the Catholic Development Agency, which provides relief in the developing world and located here also on our campus, worked in partnership together to respond to this environmental challenge. The shared campus of St. Patrick's College and Maynooth University, as a result, has been awarded the Green Flag in recognition of the greening of the campus for a sustainable world. The body awarding this prestigious Green Flag noted that the collaboration between St. Patrick's College and Maynooth University has significantly raised the bar for these activities for all universities across Ireland. Finally, friends, may I repeat how proud we are to be hosting this 26th General Assembly with the engaging team of Catholic universities working in solidarity as responsible actors from the local to the global. I wish this assembly a fruitful engagement with the team, whether in plenary or group sessions, and that this will result in a wider and deeper support and solidarity between Catholic universities for the common good of all and for the environment. And I hope you have time also to enjoy yourself while you're here among us, make new friends, and to return to your respective countries and institutions with fond memories of this wonderful occasion. So, my friends, I welcome you once again, and I thank you for being with us.
So thank you, Professor Michael.